He starts off by giving us what he calls 8 quick tips, right? And so he just kind of ticks them off, and so that's what we'll do here. Right. So the first one is to be ready. He tells us that good ambassadors are vigilant, always watchful for what might turn out to be a divine appointment. So we need to be ready, right? That's why we've read the book. That's why we've thought through these particular issues. And so we need to be ready for the opportunities that come to us. Secondly, he says we should keep it simple. In other words, why complicate things with controversial issues unrelated to salvation? Remember, we want to put a stone in the person's shoe and not a pile of rocks.
Right? Yeah. Here's 16 books to read on this subject. Go.
Yeah. Thirdly, he says, avoid religious language and spiritual pretense. Now, we've kind of covered this in the last chapter, right? We need to make sure that we communicate precisely, that people don't misunderstand. And oftentimes, Christian jargon and religious language, people are not familiar with, and so their eyes glaze over, and you lose them, right? Yeah. So we need to be real precise in our language, and oftentimes if we avoid Christian jargon, we can help them to keep up with us as we're explaining what we're talking about.
Right. Knowing the Greek, knowing the Latin, those are nice phrases to put out, but if you're not going to explain them, then it's just hubris on your part. At the end of that. So the fourth focus that he has here is that we should focus on the truth of Christianity, not merely its personal benefits. Right. So I became a good person because I was a Christian. Well, okay, other people become good people because of their religion. So having this idea now, there are definitely benefits to presenting that. I'm not saying never do that. Right. In fact,
a good testimony can go a long way.
Absolutely. You knew me before I was a Christian. You knew how terrible I was or how apathetic I was. What you've asked me, what has changed about my life? Let me tell you about it. Right. And so that's when you get into the truth of Christianity, not just I read a book and it helped change me. Tony Robbins can help do that too. If anyone remembers Tony Robbins. So truth of Christianity is what we want to present, not personal feelings, not just this blind faith type deal. The fourth one is
I think this is the fifth.
But the number that I'm on now
is the next one.
Yes, the next one is to give reasons, right? Even in a relativistic age, people still care about reasons. Show me your proof.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me why this is true.
Yeah, so they want reasons.
Yeah. Now, they might not always agree with them, but those reasons are important to know. And I think a big one is stay calm. Don't get mad. Don't show frustration. Don't look annoyed. Keep your cool.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know how to do this because this is sometimes hard. And, there are benefits to having this type of conversation online. You can get up, you can walk away, you can hit the delete key, you can type in what you want and say, okay, that was good, but that's definitely not the Christian message right there.
Right,
and so we can't always
through it again.
We can't always do that in person, but understand the ambassador model. When an ambassador is sent from America to China, what China does is, sometimes terrible and awful, and you want to condemn it. But does that emotional appeal have any implication to what you're charged to do in your capacity, in your role?
And you can condemn it, but the idea here is to just stay calm, right, and clear, and don't get mad. You don't have to show frustration and that sort of thing. Right.
Yeah, there's righteous anger, and then there's unrighteous anger.
His next of his 8 quick steps, he says, is that if they want to go, let them leave, right? Don't force the conversation. Instead, let the exchange end naturally. Remember, you don't need to close the sale in every encounter.
Right.
So if they're getting bored with it, eye contact, they're all over the place. Let them go.
Yeah, right? I've got to get to work, but hold on.
One more thing.
I'm on point 1 of 16.
Got to get my points across.
Yeah.
No, if they want to go, let them go.
Right. Yep.
And then finally, he says, we don't have to leave them empty-handed, though. Right? If they want to go, let them go, but we don't have to leave them empty-handed. If possible, we can give the person, a tangible way to follow up on what we challenged them about. Right? Maybe a track or something like that. A small New Testament of the Gospel of John, or something like that.
Can I get your email so that I can send you a link for something I learned about this? Or here's a really good book that I want. If I let you borrow the book or got you the book, would you read it? And so that's always a nice gesture as well. Right. And then it's also provides an ability to follow up afterwards and in different setting. And cooler heads prevail if something got amiss, and you can kind of go over it again and say, hey, I want to apologize for my behavior. I don't think I presented myself well, or what have you, or I told you this, but I was incorrect, so I want to make sure that I gave you the accurate one. I don't want to misconstrue what is true. Right. And so, kind of these 8 ideas, these quick tips that he has: remove obstacles that get in your way as an ambassador, right? Because that's what we are. That's our goal. Is we're made in the image of God. We go out into the world and we proclaim His message. We're His ambassadors. They will make it easier for others to focus on your message without being distracted by your methods. So you're not saying, "Hold on, I remember this. I'm on point 3. I need to actually go back to point 2. Let me." This helps kind of your flow of conversation, and there's no one right way to respond to people, because everyone's going to have different subjective values on what they view as good evidence or what they want to talk about. And so these tactics are meant to kind of give you an underlying basis for how to talk to people.
Yeah, he says here, the irony is that when our method is skillful, it fades into the background, right? Right. So, but when a method is clumsy or offensive, then it becomes the focus instead of the truth of what we want to communicate. Right. Right.
Yeah. So, if you think about, every debate I've seen Bart Ehrman do, I know his jokes, I know his presentation. He just does the same thing because he's getting paid to do it. I don't think he's really engaged with the other side, because I don't think he really views them as value. And so if you have that type of strict, here's how I present the gospel each time, here's the words I say, you almost kind of go into a robotic form of presenting it. You're not talking to the person, you're talking at the person.